The Palatine Hill is the oldest section of Rome. This area is the centermost area of the seven hills of Rome, and it's actually been called the first nucleus of the Roman Empire. It stands above the Roman Forum, looking down upon it on one side, and looks over the Circus Maximus on the other. From the time of Augustus, imperial palaces were built here. Prior to the extension to the Palace of Tiberius and the construction of the Augustina Cathedral in 81 to 96 AD, the hill was mostly occupied by the houses of the rich. This was sort of the Nob Hill of its time. According to Roman mythology, the Palatine Hill was the location of the cave known as the Lupercal, if I'm saying it correctly, where Romulus and Remus were found by the she-wolf Lupa that kept them alive. Rome actually has its origins on the Palatine Hill. Excavations show that people have lived in this area since the 10th century BC. Excavations performed on the hill in 1907 and again in 1948 unearthed a collection of huts believed to have been used for funerary purposes between the 9th and 7th century BC, approximating the time period when the city of Rome was actually founded. Also in this area, in one of the buildings, which at the moment I don't remember, was the funerary pyre of Julius Caesar after being killed in the restaurant. According to Livy, after the immigration of the Sabines and the Albans to Rome, the original Romans, they lived on this Palatine Hill. Many of these old temples and old structures and like the Temple of Apollo can still be seen here. Of course, not in one piece, there's pieces of them. A great fire in 64 AD actually destroyed a lot of this area, and there was some rebuilding done. You could see a lot from this central area of Palatine Hill. If you look to one side, you'll see the monument to King Vittorio Emanuele, which was built by Mussolini. And on the other side, you get to see the Colosseum. You are a 16-minute walk from Trajan's Market, which remember I mentioned in the Trajan's Market video. And actually, 20-minute walk from any direction here brings you throughout almost the entire history of Rome. It takes you right up to the prehistory of Rome on the hill, all the way around to the first quarter of the 20th century with Mussolini's monument to King Emanuele. As you're walking around, you think, geez, everything is pretty close, but you know, when you think about it, things had to be close. You know, they had to walk everywhere. You know, no phone, no lights, no motor cars, not a single luxury. Well, if you were rich, you had the luxury. This area is so ancient that even Emperor Augustus declared this an archaeological dig because they were unearthing even older Bronze Age pottery and tools. So he declared this site the original town of Rome.